Training butterflies is always a challenge. They need to be fit and they need to be skilled. The challenge becomes that too much hard butterfly training may destroy their skills even if they get fit, and too little hard butterfly training may prevent them from developing the fitness they need even if it preserves their skills. Let's take a look at an effective solution. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. In contrast to freestyle and backstroke, butterfly skills are very sensitive to fatigue. And of course, that runs two ways. One, it's very easy to overdo it in training and ultimately destroy swimmers' skills, but at the same time, swimmers have to be very, very fit in order to hold those same skills together in competitions. Navigate that sweet spot can be difficult to do, especially if relying exclusively on butterfly training in order to get fit to swim fast fly. Fortunately, there's other options. One of the biggest challenges in butterfly training is managing fatigue. So to go fast, swimmers have to have great skills, especially in butterfly. And they have to be able to execute those skills at race intensity. And they also have to be able to sustain those skills throughout a race. When it comes down to it, that's really all they have to do. But the challenge is that learning and adaptation are specific. So if swimmers want to learn better butterfly skills, they need to swim butterfly or do something very similar. Likewise, if they want to develop the fitness to sustain their butterfly skills, they need to be swimming butterfly or something really similar. So no matter what we try to do, there needs to be some level of specificity. The other major challenge is fatigue. And so fatigue is obviously necessary for physiological adaptation. If there's no stress, there's no change. And so swimmers will have to get tired to some degree and sometimes to a significant degree in order to get change. The flip side of that is that the more fatigued swimmers get, particularly when they're swimming butterfly, the harder it is to execute their skills, and at some point, they can no longer execute their skills. They may be still swimming legal butterfly, but they are practicing in a way that is actually making them worse. So we need enough fatigue to help them get fit, but not too much fatigue to ruin their stroke. So we're stuck with this challenge where butterfly demands a ton of fitness because it's very hard to hold the stroke together. But if there's too much physiological demand, the skills fall apart, and even really effective training is going to become counterproductive. So we need strategies that help them get fit and execute great skills. It's certainly possible to make that happen with butterfly, just keeping the repetition distances shorter and having swimmers perform more of them. However, there's value in doing some more extended swimming. How can you make that happen? Fly-free combinations. So you have swimmers work the butterfly where you get specific skill work, you get specific skill work under pressure, and you get very specific physiological adaptation because they're swimming butterfly. And then you can have them transition into freestyle where they keep things moving. It allows them to recover enough to do more fly, to switch back to butterfly. It keeps the physiological processes rolling so that they maintain some level of stimulus. They can continue to keep it moving. They continue to develop their fitness, and it's more of an active recovery versus a passive recovery. And again, it's certainly not full recovery. It's just enough recovery so that they can go back to butterfly and continue to swim well. And from a specificity perspective, freestyle is very similar to butterfly, so swimmers will still gain some benefit from the freestyle itself. And this is a strategy that's particularly effective in more aerobic contexts when you're looking for more endurance. When everything's short, when everything's fast, you don't really need to switch from butterfly because they're going to be getting enough rest to continue to swim at a high level. But when you're swimming longer distances, you're doing a bigger block of work, it can be helpful to mix in the freestyle to allow swimmers to continue to keep rolling, to continue to keep moving, but also allow them to get enough recovery so that when they go back to their butterfly, they can still execute that at a high level. So how can we make it work as well as possible? The most important thing is to meet them where they're at. How long the butterfly sections are, how long the freestyle is, that will depend on how long they can be effective at swimming butterfly. They may be able to still swim legal butterfly, but if it's not the skills that you want them executing in races, those probably aren't skills you want to have them practicing. So let them be successful with whatever the butterfly is. Start with a challenge that they can manage, and then you can escalate it from there. So how can you challenge progressively? You can go longer fly segments. So if they're only going 25s at a time, then it's 50s, then maybe it's 75s, whatever they can work up to while still swimming well. You can also have them swim the freestyle segments faster. So maybe at first they're swimming the butterfly at a relatively high level and the freestyle is more smooth. Well, then you can switch it to a more steady effort and then a solid effort. So if you ask them to swim the freestyle faster, that's going to put more pressure on the butterfly. You can also have shorter freestyle segments. So for instance, if you were going 50 fly, 50 free, all of a sudden it's 50 fly, 25 free. Now there's less time between the butterfly segments. you've made it more difficult. And of course, whatever the intervals are, you can drop them down. That's going to put more pressure on the swimmers as well. So lots of different ways to challenge them, and these different challenges can all be used interchangeably. It all comes back to providing a challenge, but a challenge that they can be successful with and a challenge that they can swim really well. As they get fitter, as they get stronger, as they become more skilled, that can extend out over time. Here are a couple sets to put these ideas into practice. So the first set, they're going to go 425s butterfly, steady effort, at about 20 seconds rest, same stroke count each 25. Then they're going to go 3 200s, 25 free, 25 fly. They're going to descend those 1 to 3 at the same stroke count. Then 4 more 25s, solid now at 15 seconds rest, same stroke count. Then 4 150s as 25 free, minimize stroke count, plus 25 strong. Then they're going to go 4 25s butterflies strong, 10 seconds rest, again, same stroke count. Then they're going to finish 5 100s, 50 free, build, plus 50 fly strong, and then a 425 stronger at 5 seconds rest, same stroke count. So the 25s are getting more difficult as they go through, and then the 200s, the 150s, and the 100s, we're challenging them in different ways. We're asking them to swim fast. They've got to control their stroke counts, and they've got to be effective, but we're switching between fly and free so that they can continue to execute the fly really well. Next set, more of a race set. They're going to go 4 rounds through. They're going to start with 450s race. It's going to be 25, 30, 35, 40 meters fly, and then 25, 20, 15, 10 meters fly by 50. Best perform long course, so they don't have to deal with the wall on that. Then they're going to go 100, that's 50 free. They're going to descend those 1 to 4 across the rounds, and it's always 50 fly race. So rather than just doing straight up 50s, if swimmers are really struggling with that at this point, and certainly rather than doing a straight up 100, we're going to mix in some freestyle to ensure that they can hold their strokes together. At the same time, they're still going to be challenged physiologically, and over time, we can extend the distances of the fly out, and eventually they'll develop the fitness to make it all happen fly. So for another powerful strategy to help your swimmers improve their butterfly, check out the video below.